Hallo, ihr seid bei der Online-Ausgabe des 14. Lichter Filmfest Frankfurt International 2021. Ich bin Stefan Müller und ich spreche mit der Regisseurin Jaqueline Lentzou aus Athen über ihren Film Moon 66 Questions. And now I will switch to English. Welcome, Jaqueline, to this Q&A for the
Thank you for
14th
having
Lichter
me.
Filmfest. Moon 66 Questions is about families, about a girl, and about disease. And of course, about the universe. First of all, what means the tarot to you, as we see some tarot cards in the movie? I brought one tarot as well.
Thank you. Yes, I get this question rather often, and it's very interesting. I don't know, first of all, how to throw tarot cards at all, and I don't know how to read them. However, I have been always really fascinated by the visual aspect of tarot cards.
Mhm.
I felt always, since I was a kid and I first saw them, like small masterpieces, pocket size. And, when then I started reading literature and stuff, and then I started really somehow studying history of art, I started to decode the symbols. And for some reason, I think they're so ancient and they have survived through so many different civilizations and years that only for this very reason I respect them. And in the film, I think they add another layer. I mean, you can see the suffering reality of the protagonist, but I think with the tarot cards, we create a protective environment for the protagonist to suffer in a way.
Why did you choose those particular cards, like Strength or the Magician we see in the movie?
Because somehow they, in a very discreet way, suit the part of the film we watch in a way. I mean, we added Strength after somehow she decides inside her mind, because the whole film is rather esoteric, which is, I think, its strength and its problem at the same time. But we added Strength the moment that she realized that now she has to be good to herself in order to be a good carer. Started running, started getting stronger, and then I added the Magician at the end, because she poses this very childish, but at the same time not so childish question about whether she could make her father healthy again by allowing him to share his secret. So it's like a magical transformation that could happen or not.
Can you tell us what means astrology to you in general?
Astrology is it's funny. I was a very sad child, rather depressed, and I really wanted to know if there is something more. So I entered a bookshop. I was 6, and I had found a very small. What am I telling you? Anyway, I had found a very small book called Gemini, and I knew about myself that was Gemini. Okay, I opened this small book, and I was identifying myself with every word, and I was like, okay, so I belong somewhere. There is something I belong to. So this is how it started. So as a kid's need to feel that they belong, because the whole family situation was really bad. And then through the years, it developed in my head as a joke, speaking with friends, something not very heavy to talk about. And then when I went through again some very big anxieties, I understood that somehow, this is my dog, by the way, Lexi.
Hey,
She's
what's
here.
his name?
Lexi.
Hi.
So when I went through a lot of anxiety, what made me feel better instantly was to know. I wanted to know that what I'm going through will pass. I wanted to know that next year will be better, no matter the fact if it's true or not. I just wanted to know. It's like a pacifier for the heart. So this is my relation with astrology. I'm not an astrologer. I don't know how to read the stars, but I really believe that there are other ways to read the world. That's all.
So how autobiographical is the script? for the
Uh,
film?
okay, it's my sixth, seventh Zoom interview since the film was out,
Mhm.
and I decided to tell the truth today. It's the first time. I'm tired of hiding. So
Okay.
it's the whole film is autobiographical. Everything is true. Everything. But you know something? I didn't want initially people to. I was hiding the fact that everything is true because I didn't want at all people to read and see the film differently after they know that it's a true story. I don't know this. I want people to cherish the film for the film itself, not because the girl behind it suffered. I don't want this. So I was hiding all of this. But yesterday I had a very nice Q&A with the Momo, the new director's new films. And I decided I hide it again. And I was thinking about today, what if they ask me from this festival, what should I say? And I'm like, I will just say the truth. I'm done. It's okay. It's autobiographical. Everything is true.
So in the year of your birth, 1989, Steven Soderbergh's Sex, Lies and Videotape came out and won the Golden Palm in Cannes. Have you discovered Script and Movie later on?
Yes, of course, of course.
And can you name some of your references, your favorite directors?
My favorite directors are many. I didn't have strict references for this film. I didn't really work very strictly with references of films. It was mostly books. It was mostly my own life. It was mostly paintings. I like Francis Bacon a lot. The whole aspect of deformation that I used for the father character and how this disease, in a way, really, it's like putting a painting underwater. You have a human being that is alive and kicking and they collapse. So yes, I didn't have a lot of films, but as a filmmaker, I have some filmmakers that I love, and it's Harmony Korine, it's Wim Wenders, it's Jonas Mekas, it's Chantal Akerman, of course. I love Chantal Akerman, and I have the same birthday with Chantal Akerman, 6th of June, by the way.
What about Almodovar?
Almodovar, no. I mean, I like him, but I'm not like a huge fan.
Okay.
Um, yes, but many films. Gus Van Sant a lot. With Gus Van Sant, I started wanting to become a filmmaker with Elephant.
Okay.
Yes.
This diary of the main character, Artemis, gives a structure in your film as well. We also see family videotapes from the 90s filmed by her father, Pari. And there seems to be a family secret as well. So your interest in psychoanalysis is also obvious in the movie. There's this dream sequence, half fish, half human. Is this the center, you would say, of the film?
I don't know what do we mean when we say the center of a film, because I'm not really a fan of the three structure film format. I never understood why it exists, to be honest. I think that films should be as various and free as life itself. Sometimes they make sense, sometimes they don't make sense. So in this respect, I could not tell you, yes, this is the center. No, it was just another scene. It was just another scene of the esoteric internal Artemis scenes, as I have them categorized in my head, where she has no one to talk to and she shares her dream with her neighbor kids. That's all. I mean, of course, it has a gravity because, in a way, it's the first time that she talks about the fear about losing her father in a way. But no, it's not the center of the film. I think it's just another small part.
But are you familiar with psychoanalysis in general, or have you studied something like this?
No, I haven't studied something like this, but I have been in therapy myself since 2013. So I am one of these people that Woody Allen would make a film about. Therapy and stuff. But what is interesting is that, okay, apart from being a patient, as they call me, I was very interested beforehand in Freud. So as a child growing up, I was very interested in Freud's theory, and I started reading stuff on my own. Of course, I didn't understand a lot, but I really enjoyed and felt that yes, this is something meaningful. This is something that resonates with me. When I first read the first thoughts about dreams and about the unconscious. So in this realm, I have read some stuff. Of course, I'm not a specialist, but I'm really interested in any way of people wanting to give meaning to their lives and to end their suffering. So whether it's psychoanalysis or any kind of alternative therapy, as long as the person clearly wants to get free from whatever they suffer from, I'm very interested in all kinds of therapies.
There are some scenes with a car. It's a Jeep SUV, and this car is also filled with memories. So for which thing stands the Jeep?
No, I was interested a lot in the whole idea of movement, the fact that the father cannot move by himself anymore. At the same time, there is a big Jeep parked in his big basement that in the past we can imagine that he was moving around, he was traveling all of the time, he was trying to escape life in this vehicle. And this vehicle is where his daughter, although she can move, but at the same time she cannot because she has to take care of the father. In the Jeep, she finds out the secret, and this is where, in a way, she gets her own peace. So I was really thinking where to locate the secret, because it could be anywhere. Mm-hmm. She could find the letter anywhere in the house, but I thought, okay, this guy always wanted to escape. He was doing skiing, he was doing basketball, he was traveling, he was never present, so he was always in the car. So where would he put his most secret memory? In the car. So I thought it was a nice way of connecting them again, because at the end of the day, the film is about connecting the father and the daughter all of the time. Even the diaries, as you mentioned, we see visually what the father had shot, but we hear what the girl goes through. Again, we connect them, and again in the car we connect them. So it's all about connecting them in a way.
There is one song where Artemis dances to. Which song is that?
Freestyler.
Yeah, the Freestyler is one of them, but the other one comes at, I think, around 40 minutes. The film, it's a Greek song, I think.
When she's smoking, but she doesn't dance.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Figo. Where you mean the scene in the bar scene where initially she imitates her father when she's trying to light a cigarette? This is the scene you mean? Yes, it's a song by a Greek singer. She's called Jenny Vano, and she's very dear to me, and she had a very rough life. She was severely abused by all her partners. So this song says, please let me go, let me go. And when I added it in the film, mostly I wanted to add it as another aspect of the father life. You mean, I mean, she's in the father's house. She's at the bar that the father used to hang out before he got sick. And she's listening to the music he was listening to. So for me, it was more like, again, another layer of knowing the father. Why would he listen to such a song? He was suffering of something as well. So it was mostly that use.
About the cast, how did you find this brilliant actor, Lazaros Gogapoulos, alongside Sofia Kokali? Artemis, I think with her you have worked before already, right?
Yes, many times. We had shot one short film in 2018 and another short film in 2019 before we shot the feature. Yes, and she's my best friend as well.
Okay, greetings to her. How did you find Lazaros?
Lazarus, I was helped a lot by my casting director, Makis Gazis, since I really don't know actors of that age. I mostly know actors around my age. So when I wanted to cast the father, I really needed someone to help me out. So yes, the moment I met him, I knew that it would be him, because he's a father of an only daughter as well. So it was important to have this common ground of fatherhood. And also, he had a friend of his that got sick with multiple sclerosis and had a secret. So it was very weird to me to realize that indeed I'm making a film out of something personal, but it's not only personal, it happens. If people do not accept themselves and do not respect themselves and do not hear to what their heart says, then the system, so the self, will attack the self. So we had this common story with Lazarus, and we really connected on it and discussed it, and we worked together.
Was it difficult or hard for him to act like this?
Look, we had a very big discussion because multiple sclerosis is not a disease with fixed characteristics. You can have multiple sclerosis and you can walk but not see. You can see but not hear. You can walk one side, not the other side. It's such a complicated in the way it degenerates the system that I didn't know how to tell him to walk, let's say. I didn't know, because my father, whom I know, is very different from Lazarus, you know what I mean? So what happens is that we were helped a lot by Alexander Technique practitioner. Alexander Technique is a body awareness technique in a way, where through the mind you can control particular groups of muscles and either activate or deactivate them without putting too much pressure. So it wouldn't be hard for Lazarus to be all of the time like that, you know what I mean? So he had an intense course, like for a month, on a daily basis, 4 hours, 3 hours, and then he became like that. So he was not acting, he was like that. Even during break and lunch breaks, he was like that. So like his hand would be like that. And I'm like, Lazarus, don't do this, we're having lunch now. He was like, what am I doing? And he had to see it to recognize that his hand was like that. And I'm like, no, it's weird.
That's the disease in the film, but now disease is kind of all around. How do you deal with the pandemic situation at the moment?
I don't know, I'm patient. What is very newfound for me is the fact that beforehand, with the short films, I was literally traveling every week somewhere. So I was in an aeroplane. I had a very different lifestyle. And now I haven't traveled since 2019. It's very crazy to me. So I don't know how it will be when I will start to travel again. But I'm patient. I mean, I don't think I can do anything else rather than wait for things to get back to normal.
In the background, there is, I think, the poster of the film to speak about the moon phases, because moon is in the title. As we have a full moon on Tuesday, it's the day the festival starts, I think, next week. So,
Wow.
do you have this thing like a moon phase calendar or something? Yeah.
I know the moon phases by heart since I was very young, because I get very affected. I mean, I get very emotional around the full moon. So I had to know when the full moon was in order to somehow prepare myself. So yes, very well. 27th of April, we have full moon in Scorpio. It's a very intense full moon. So it's a very good start for the festival. I hope the best. And moon phases in general, I think this question is a sister question to the first question about the tarot cards. I mean, people have been studying moon phases since, again, ancient times. And the fact that we still talk about it, it means something. I don't know what it means. I don't know how it affects all people. I don't know if it's just in my head because I'm crazy, but there is something with the moon, I think.
Who is sun? Who is the moon? And when will they meet? That's one of the questions perhaps the film can answer. Thanks a lot, Jaqueline Lentzou.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.